Hello. Okay, I'm gonna do something different today. I'm gonna do a little introduction video and just kind of talk about me and how I got to where I am. So without further ado, my name is Rune. I just turned 28 in February. I currently have been living in San Diego for the past almost 2 years. I moved out here, we'll just kind of go backtrack. I moved out here in 2023 after I had a spiritual awakening. Was not happy with my job, realized like, why am I climbing the ladder and blah, blah, blah. And I sold all of my furniture. Started traveling, solo traveling for a bit. I actually created a travel Instagram page. Did not go anywhere because I really didn't know what I was doing at the time. Didn't know what I wanted at the time. All I knew was what I didn't want to do. But yeah, I started a travel page and I was traveling for a bit. And I didn't know what the heck where I was going. I was still working a different corporate job at the time and just sort of quietly traveling while I was working the job. It was remote, so I was like, why not? And yeah, things were good. I mean, like, all my circumstances at the time sort of supported that exploratory phase. I had a lot of freedom at the time. My boss is still to this day one of my close friends and may watch this video. Hi. I was just very much exploring and figuring out what I wanted. Eventually, I fell in love with San Diego and I was like, this is where I'm gonna move and I'm gonna start my business here. And I wanted to start a coaching business of some sort, mind, body, spiritual thing. Still really unclear at the time. And then once I moved here, I ended up having a really social phase and became, like a really social butterfly. I'm actually quite introverted, contrary to my younger self's perception. Brought all these people together and was like the queen of all these different group chats and focused very much on rooting. And I was like, yeah, this is where I'm gonna live. Like, clearly I'm building a community here and stuff. And then I started dating and fell in love with this one guy and we had this big messy relationship. It was a karmic connection, 100%. Like the kind of relationship that comes into your life and speaks to your soul. Like you have a soul deep connection, but you are meant to rip each other a new okay, we're not gonna say it. To teach each other soul deep lessons about yourself. As like mirrors, like you basically are mirrors for each other. But as is such with karmic connections, it was messy and ugly and painful. And yeah, I think that was like I don't know if my ego death was before that or if it was from that or integrated with that or if that was my body awakening, but probably that relationship taught me how to stand in my power and not settle for shit, you know? Also, fun fact about me, I have had a tendency, and in astrology, I think this is associated with the South Node. Your South Node is like your karma, like your past life. And so my South Node traits or tendency is to kind of want to be saved. A codependency where I'm like, okay, I'll just stop. Like my purpose doesn't matter anymore. Let's just have fun and you can take care of me for the rest of my life. And the universe truly knows that wakes me up every single time. I want to believe that I've made it through all my karmic lessons because I am now on my North Node path. If you're into astrology and if you're, well, let me know actually in the comments below if you are into astrology because I'm still learning more. I learn a lot about astrology through like my own charts lens with the help of ChatGPT, but I would definitely talk more about it if you guys are interested. Your North Node is your purpose in life, your mission. And so for me, my North Node is in Virgo in the, I think, 8th house. So I'm meant to build something tangible that's in service for other people. Hello. And I feel more fulfilled doing this, recording this video right now and, talking to all of you on this channel than I ever did in a relationship that's revolved around like pleasures and like that kind of stuff, which my ego, my younger self would have disagreed, but she didn't know where we were going, It's just an example of one of those things where like when you are unevolved or you're still early in your path, you think you want certain things, but then later on you get closer to your soul's path, your North Node's path, and you realize like this is why all those things didn't work out. Anyway, back to the situation. So after me and this guy ended things, I sort of was still kind of like dating around, still trying to figure my life out. Then I had all this, my old job, the one that I traveled while I was working at, or started falling apart. There was like leadership changed. My boss that I had a good relationship with had moved on, and there was all this restructuring happening and rules cracking down, and my sales also started to really slow down. And it was almost like the universe and my higher self were literally like, you need to get out of this job. Like, it's misaligned. He was the only reason you were here. Like, you gotta move. So then I sort of was fully in survival mode for a hot minute there because I thought I was gonna lose my job. I didn't wanna leave San Diego. I was cut off from my North Node path because I had to pay the bills and I had to find something that was gonna sustain me. So I ended up finding a new job somehow after 10 months of a job search. I found a better position at a company that had a culture that seemed like it was a little more aligned. It seemed like a more interesting role, more interesting company, and better pay. I ended up moving into a new apartment in San Diego, a bigger apartment, and just like leveled up a bit. It was like a mini quantum leap. It was like I had to elevate to get to the bigger thing, if that makes sense. And so that's when things started shifting around a lot. Once I moved into this new apartment, I became really introverted, and not became really introverted, but like I started to come back to my true self and fell off with a lot of my social connections here, got much closer to the people that I connected with the most, like my soul family here that I met here. I want to say in January maybe at some point, or a little bit before then, I started having these like deep downloads. And for a long time, I've had what I would call channeled messages maybe. Again, sorry, very tangential, but my typical psychic sense is clairsentience, or clairsentience, not really sure how to pronounce it, and claircognizance. So I don't hear voices, I don't see things, typically. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen things. I've heard, no, never mind, never heard something. Yeah, clairsentience is like probably the number one, claircognizance is the other, where I feel it in my body, and I feel like I know what to do. The wisdom just moves through my actions and my knowing. Or I can feel presence at times of spirit through my eyes watering and goosebumps. And that's how I know something's making contact with my auric field. And there were progressively more and more instances where I was sitting in my room and felt the presence of something very loving. I knew it was not scary. It was loving. Even if it made me a little uncomfortable, it felt like I knew immediately it was a loving energy, something kind of familiar even. And my eyes watered, and same reaction every single time. As that progressed, more and more, that situation happened more and more frequently. I also started to have this like deeper, louder knowing of like, I'm moving towards something big and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it means. And I would cry. Like I'd feel this feeling, not even necessarily like a vision in like visually, but like this feeling of like, I don't know. I still didn't yet have the YouTube channel, didn't have the blueprint for the YouTube channel, didn't know what the frick I was gonna do, but I just would be moved to tears when I'd think about my future and feel a wave of something bigger than me. And as I moved into my new apartment and I started to have like more and more of those moments, the tears, the goosebumps, all of it, I started following it. I started really like relentlessly following it. Once March came around, I think there was a lunar eclipse in Virgo, and that lunar eclipse activated my North Node in Virgo. And since then, that's when I started the YouTube channel. Crazy. Since then, I have absolutely 100% been quantum leaping, like in different phases, to the point like, yeah, I mean, my body's been changing. I've been like physically exhausted. My nervous system is stretching capacity beyond like anything I've ever experienced. I've quantum leaped many times in my life, but nothing ever like this. This is totally a new game for me. I'm fully stepping into my power when I speak. I'm getting to a point where like my soul clearly knows what it's doing, and I'm just like, okay, I trust you. Like, I bow to you, because I mean, yeah, I'm just at this point, it has everything that is amazing in my life is because of my soul and because I learned how to get out of its way. So right now we've gotten to a point where at my other job, like I started my YouTube channel. As I started to move towards the channel and move toward what feels really aligned and fulfilling and exciting to me, simultaneously, other stuff has become really misaligned or more blatantly misaligned and more difficult to sustain, both internally and externally. And so my other job became a clearer misalignment in like a multitude of ways. And I am now moving away from the job and I am officially going full-time with YouTube. This is a leap for sure. Fortunately, I'm very, very lucky to have such an amazing support system, and so I'm going to be temporarily moving in with family, and we'll sort of, you know, work on building this out and make it a full-time thing. So that's kind of where we are now. So I'll be moving across the country and moving back with family. I know quite a few of you had commented on videos like, how do you not get triggered by your family members? And I have been dying to tell you, by the way. So we are still working on that, and it's a work in progress. So I'm with you, and I'd be happy to, you know, definitely make a video on more on that specifically, like very soon, because I did have a recent situation that is worth bringing up and just how I've been navigating it. And but also on the flip side, I do want to share about like how much of an impact though and a difference I'm seeing in other family members, like a drastic difference. The presence, the way that we are meeting each other with where we are and who we are now, it's liberating the lineage. It's like there's something magical happening. So while some might cling to the narrative and the illusion to avoid confrontation of difficult, hard, uncomfortable, painful truths, some people shift. Like they just do. When you start to shift your frequency, people follow suit. And so I think it's unfolding, it's unraveling, and eventually everyone will come in line, because otherwise there's going to be a moment in time where they're just like, okay, why is no one agreeing with me anymore? But yeah, anyway, so that is something I will definitely come back to, because yeah, I'm not in some like, I've not reached a profound monk-like level of equanimity yet. I actually was just talking to a friend too about how, like, we were talking about how boundaries are not the end goal, because ultimately you want to get to a place where you don't need to be boundaried. You can just love freely and let other people's projections just slide right off you. I'm not there yet. I am still in a place where my nervous system at times doesn't feel safe enough to access that kind of clarity or peace. I'm still triggered by deep core wounds from my childhood. Like I said, I will make a video on that, because I think that's just, yeah, very important. To add to that, just for more context on, you know, who I am, my upbringing, I've shared that I was the black sheep in my family, the scapegoat, the easiest one to blame for problems in the family. I'll share, like, my parents both grew up in very, very, very dysfunctional households. They both experienced tangible, severe trauma, and they both really wanted to not pass on that generational trauma. Unfortunately, they were both unconscious, and their desires to not want to pass it on did not come with clarity or awareness at the time, even if their intentions were good, and they did continue to perpetuate the cycles. My mom has gotten to such a beautiful place in her awakening. I would describe, I think she's going through sort of like an emotional and relational awakening. She's not quite as spiritual as I am, but she has truly become so aware and gentle with me, and like compassionate and accountable. And of course we both have our, like, she has her moments, and even I have my moments at times where I fall back. But I think when you're awake, even when you have those moments, they come with awareness, and it's really quick to notice and be like, I'm sorry, that wasn't, ignore that. You know, but like to own it. Whereas like people who are a little more embedded, it's like, unconscious, maybe a glimpse of awareness. Nope, unconscious, defensiveness, deflection, gaslighting, whatever. Yeah, so my mom has been a beacon of light for me recently, and I do believe it's a response to my healing and my awakening. And my sisters as well have been extremely supportive, and there's definitely some shifts happening. And I think that things are going in the right direction with that. If you have questions, like I really want this to feel like a true community. I want you to know like I'm here, I'm with you. Any questions that you have, whether it's about your journey, whether it's about me or my journey or anything. It can be even like, what's your favorite ice cream? I don't know. I don't have one, by the way. I love everything. I've never been a person who can tell you a favorite anything, and I feel like this has bothered so many people. Being asked like, where's your favorite place you ever traveled to? I love them all. Like, how could you compare two completely different places? Anyway, I also feel like I should do a true intro. The problem is that my brain is not like a linear brain. I am a brain that is just kind of like everywhere. I don't know how to explain it. And especially right now, I feel like it's worse than normal. So just bear with me. This video is I don't know how this video is gonna do, but I don't care. This is me. I will try to do a video at some point where I go through a little more of a linear storyline, and I'll maybe script it a bit, or at least have like a true template so it can be a little more cohesive, because otherwise I am very tangential and it might end up being a 3-hour-long video. I've touched on a lot of things that I want to dive deeper into. We'll think about what will be a good next video based on one of these topics, and I'll do a little bit more of a deep dive in a clearer, more cohesive way. But it's nice to just get on and share me, unscripted, unfiltered, and like I said, if you have any questions, literally anything at all, and please, on any single video, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know where you're from, you know, what's going on with you, and I really want this to be more of a community. At some point, I will move things over to Patreon so we can, you know, build on that community feel, but for now, it's just on the YouTube videos, so please do say hi. If you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoy any of my videos, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to hear more about spirituality, consciousness, awakening, living authentically, all of those fun things, definitely subscribe to my channel. This is a unique one, so please keep that in mind. Unique one, but there's a lot coming, and I would love, you know, if you have any requests as well for videos, please also drop that in a comment. I definitely love your feedback. So, okay, my brain is like, so I'm gonna turn this off right now. I don't know what time it is where you are or when you're watching this, but I hope you have a great day or night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.